going to be a long one. You know, when I started my YouTube page, I started it with the intent to educate people with what was happening with me. And at that time, there was my main digestive issues that were happening with me. And I wanted to take people on the journey of what was happening gastrically, so that if people out there were experiencing somewhat of what I was experiencing, they would have a go-to. And I was also experiencing incurable COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and rare migraines, 5, and added a 6 for my trigeminal neuralgia. So then I thought to myself, it gets really, really difficult to start bringing them all into one to try to talk about them all. It gets really, really difficult to do that. And it would be super huge and long. So what I'm going to do, or what I want to do, is start chopping them and separating them into little pieces. So I don't want to start different channels for different things. I want to keep my channel, but have different categories, I guess is what I'm saying. Because when I started, there was 3 things, and now I seem to have this large laundry list of things that they found with me. Besides having incurable things, where I was told when I went to the big gastroenterologist that there is no cure for what I have. He promised he would find what was ailing me gastrically, because I had gastroenterologist previously, and I knew I had colitis, and I knew I had other gastric issues. He zeroed in with all of everything he was doing, the testing, everything he was doing that he put me under. He zeroed in on it, what it was. And they have never seen any motility as bad as mine. My motility is it's just not there. And that's because of, and I won't go back into all of it, my vagus nerves and not functioning, blah, blah, blah. It is difficult enough to have all of that happening, as well as we discussed there's no options for me. We had tried motility medications to help, but I got very sick. It became apparent very quickly that I couldn't take these types of medications that were making me sick, and they were affecting my heart badly. So I had to be pulled off of them. At that point, there became nothing more that they could do for me. But they wanted to try and give me a better quality of life, and that's where the ileostomy came in. So when I went to the surgeons, I was referred to the surgeons as well, because I had rectal issues and I had large intestinal issues. They thought as well that they would be able to, by way of ileostomy, give me a better quality of life. It didn't happen. It's just as simple as that. It didn't happen. I'm having my nursing team come in. I'm having my NSWOCC specialists come in. Those are specialists that deal specifically with complications like mine. I'm having severe complications with my stoma, with the skin around my stoma, which is degrading. And there's 2 holes on each side of my stoma now, and they're dug in. And it's because of the acid production, which I shouldn't have, because I'm on medication for acid to reduce the acid. So They don't want to do a revision, which was sad because there was another surgeon who did. And now it came down to the surgeon who did my ileostomy who decided she didn't want to do the revision. And that took me a minute or two to focus, like to come to terms with the fact that nothing more is going to happen with me. And that was a little rough. But I'm accepting it, and okay. So now I have these NSWOCC nurses, these NSWOCC specialists. This is number 3 that's coming on Thursday. This is very rare. And she will be seeing what she can do. We've done everything. We've layered, we've done every single thing that we could possibly do. I even saw the NSWOCC at the hospital. And nothing is helping. Nothing is helping. My stoma is just too close to my belly. And my output is too high. And it's too liquid. Sheer liquid. Sheer acid. They're not sure why that's happening either. And to take 8 tablets of Imodium daily all the time is making my heart. It's not helping my heart. So I can't do that either. Anyways, there's that I deal with. That's part of what I deal with. There's also the COPD that I deal with. And there's also the major migraines that I deal with. And they're getting worse. There's 5, and then there's, like I said, the trigeminal neuralgia that happened because of dental. I'm doing everything that can be done neurologically. There's nothing more that can be done. There's nothing new out that I can take. My body will accept. We are doing needles, but they are wearing off quite fast now. I'm also having one of my major migraines. It's a long hemicranial plasia something, which acts like a stroke, and on my left side. And it varies on how long it lasts for. I had one at the hospital, and it scared the nurse. She was about to call a stroke code. And I stopped her with one hand. It looks like a stroke, completely looks like a stroke. I lose my speech, I lose everything. When it happens, it scares me too. I've had to learn to live with this because I know that if one's coming, it's going to be a big one. And if my heart, something's coming, it's going to be a big one. And they cannot do CPR or anything because there's no point. They'll crack everything because of the inflammation I have, because of my bones and everything right now. Because I have now discovered I have rheumatoid arthritis and osteoarthritis in my knees and in my hips, bilaterally. I've had needles in my knees just recently. And recently I went, and the doctor who, he's a sports medicine doctor, and it's bone on bone. He got me up and he said, you've got to come and look at this. I'll explain. It's bone on bone, and I have bone spurs on either side, 3 and 4, and they're just hitting. It's just hitting. And I've shaved off bone. There's jagged. It's just ridiculous. And he said, you're going to need a knee replacement. And the other one, it's not so bad yet, but you need a knee replacement for your right. And he said, we're going to continue to take x-rays to watch how it's degrading. I'm like, yay. Please push it off as long as you can, because I'm just not ready right now. I'm just not. And my hip, he said the same thing. What's happening is with my hip, I have something called a Scottish hip. My sockets are not formed correctly. They're not ball and socket. It's like a square, clunk, 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 clunk. It's like clunk, clunk, clunk. And at the top, there's a big cyst. So it hits a cyst, which is exceptionally painful, and clunk, clunk, clunk. Because there's no liquid, there's no fluid, synovial fluid, between the joints. So, hence why he had to insert cortisone to stop the inflammation, because of the hitting of the bone all the time and scraping it, but also hitting the cyst at the same time going in, which is exceptionally painful. And then I also have hip dysplasia because my hip pops out and I have to put it back in, and it hurts like hell. So I'm going to have surgery on that at some point as well. And I keep hoping later than sooner, but the needle is not doing anything right now. It helped for a while. I'm feeling the pain again. It's roughly actually been about 2 months. They do 2 month increments as well with needles, and they can only do it 3 times a year. So I have that. I have a long laundry list of things that are wrong with me. I have tumors on my lower spine that are surrounding my spine, my lower spine, surrounding my spine, and that are surrounding my spinal cord, that they're not aggressive. They're not going to do anything with, but they are causing problems with my lower back. And they are painful. So they're watching them so that they don't become aggressive. And I have a 22 by 28 lesion and a tumor on my liver, which is knocking out my numbers completely. It is non-aggressive as well. However, they keep their eyes on it to make sure that it's not going to do anything funny. So, so that's that. I have so many different things that are wrong. It's ridiculous. I go for one thing and I find out 5 other things that are wrong with me. I have atherosclerosis in my mesenteric region, which is where my intestines are. Yay! So my aortic mesenteric. So there's nothing to be done about that either. It's not like you can ream it out or anything. Can't do anything with it. So, bravo. They can't do CPR on me, like they said, because they'll shatter. That's why I said I have osteo and rheumatoid. So they'll shatter my breastplate, my breastbone. And that wouldn't be too fun. It would hurt and it would kill me anyway. So why do it? So just let me go. So no wonder they've been trying to get me to sign a DNR. Now I understand completely. And I don't want to be intubated, because if I'm intubated, that's it for my lungs. They let me listen to nothing at the bottom of my lungs. There is nothing. It doesn't sound. You can't hear anything. It's black. It's nothing. And then you can hear it's as they're elevating it, the stethoscope. I can hear sounds. So I would like to make different channels, specifically targeting the different things that are wrong, because there's just so much to talk about all the time, and overwhelmingly so with what's happening with me. And I want to be effective and be useful, but as well as potentially people out there that may be able to help me in coping and giving me some ideas on what to do. I've already met 2 people on YouTube. One is Sickie, and he has, sorry, I'm cold. It snowed here. I'm cold. It's Sickie, and Sickie is, his name is Morgan. And Morgan is a CFer. And he had taken a drug called Trikafta. Trikafta has literally put him into remission. And he's doing really well. I'm so thankful for that drug for CF. I'm so thankful. Because I have to do lung function tests as well as I liken COPD to CF, but CF is much worse because their life expectancy ends much quicker than CF. And through Morgan and his dealings, like I watched him what he was doing with his breathing function, his breathing lung function tests, and he got his numbers up, and I was like completely amazed. How did he do that? I want to learn how did he do that? How did he get that oxygen in there? So I've been watching him for quite some time. He's also into gaming, which I'm not into, so I just watch him to learn different things from him and his adventures and what he's doing and whatnot. He recently got introduced to another CFer called Stephi Lee, and Stephi Lee is an awesome young lady. She has dreadlocks, which I just love. I've been trying for years to get my hair dreadlocks, but as you can tell, my hair is just not going to do it. So I have a mohawk. Yay! Anyways, I even thought of getting them sewn in or something like that. But anyways, because I loved the look of Lagatha on Vikings. I loved her look, Lagatha. That's what I was shooting for, is Lagatha. So I recently got introduced by way of Cystic One to Stephi Lee. Now, she as well has cystic fibrosis and is on Trikafta, and she is in remission. So, both of them. And they're on a great adventure right now, and I couldn't be happier for them. I saw something. There's not much joy in my life right now. There really isn't. And, you know, I take joy where I can find it. And this young lady has just inspired me in a huge way. I'm going to be 55 years old, and this young lady inspired my ass, let me tell you. And she's got the most beautiful tattoos that I just seen. She's really, really, and they were set to intentions, and that's exactly what they're supposed to be done. It's just beautiful. Anyways, I digress. She did a van build out of a, I can't remember what type of van, but anyways, if you please go and check out her channel and Morgan's, you'll see the story, the interconnecting story with them now, which is really something to watch and behold. She did a van build. She bought a van and just nothing, and that's where she's living. She's living in a van, and it is so flippin' beautiful. It's amazing how she transformed this van into something so unbelievably beautiful that it inspired me to think, maybe I can do that? Maybe I can do that. Maybe. Because, man, I would love, whatever time I have, I would love to go and see Canada. I would love to travel Canada. And do it that way would be so wicked. Do you open the door to see the Rockies, to see the mountains in Alberta and Banff and that, to open up your doors in the back or side door, whatever, just to open it up, and like she had, it was just incredible. And to see that beauty, to see that kind of beauty would be just amazing, amazing. So I watched her van build all from start to finish. What a wonderful young lady she is. Wonderful young lady she is. And she's taken me and a whole bunch of others on a journey with her. I've just started this journey. And like I said, I started it because of Morgan, Cystic One. And they both resonate with each other because of cystic fibrosis. But I think they're kindred spirits. I really do. I think they're kindred spirits. And so he's given me some things that I've learned, and oh man, this gal is so ultra creative. She's such an artist. She's so creative. And I was meant to go to see her channel. I was meant to see her channel. Simple as that. Because I didn't know I needed to see that, but I needed to see it. So, there we go. Anyways, that's what's happening with me. My NSWOCC, third NSWOCC is coming in on Thursday to see what else they can do, which they're doing everything right now. The last time this was changed out was on the weekend. And this was changed out on the Saturday. And when it changed out, I cried. Because as soon as it came off, man, it hurt like hell. And you can see the holes on both sides of my stoma. How it had dug in on both sides of the stoma. And it hurt like hell. Because I took this, the nurse took the saline solution and just dabbed it really gently. And to clean it and everything, then cleaned around. But just, and when she dabbed it, I just bit my lip in half. And so, as for that, like I said I spoke with the NSWOCC specialist and on the phone because she had to find out when was good for me, for her to come here. And I said, I don't know, any time is good. So, long story short, she'll be here, and I just basically said I don't have there's no hope I have. I don't have any hope that they're going to do anything, that she's going to magically come up with something that's going to be different than umpteen other people have tried, that have failed on, and it continues to get worse. So there is nothing. And what is the gastroenterologist going to tell me when I've seen the head of the gastroenterology of the Ottawa hospitals that he hasn't told me, and that my gastroenterologist before that, who I had for years, what he hasn't told me? What is this new gastroenterologist who I yet to have an appointment with? What are they going to tell me that I don't already know? What are they supposed to tell me how to fix this? When an NSWOCC themselves said, have they talked about doing a revision for you? I said no. They don't want to do it. So, this is where I am. This is where I sit. A lot of times I sit here. A lot of times I can't move. Because it's too painful. I have a physiotherapist that comes in because of my hips and because of my knees. And that sucks too. That really sucks too. Because I can't get up and move. I can't go on long walks because my lungs kick in and I become breathless, and it's just like everything wants to be against me. And I've said it at one point or whatever. It questions like, why am I here? Anyways. Such is my life. It is what it is, and what it will be, for however long it will be. But, like I said, nothing further will be done with me gastrically. It's just an end to an end. And, that's it. So, love you. stick with me because it's going to get rougher, I'm sure. Thank you. And like I said, I'm going to start compartmentalizing things to make it a little easier so it's not crammed into everything. So peace, love, and yet I smile. Thank you. So I forgot to say, last thing, if you like this video, please follow it, subscribe to it, ding the bell so that you're notified when I'm posting. Hopefully it'll be more often once I can get all of this stuff figured out. And give a thumbs up if you like the content and leave a message.